Hello, everybody. Kind of like try to get at everything on time. So I did. Um, Mercury retrograde is in force. I had some issues with communications. I had some issues with my car, which is right now it's in service for, and been dealing with this all day pretty much. Hopefully, it's gonna be okay. Uh, so what are we going to talk about today? It's something important, and that is about your inner fight from within. And that inner fight from within, it's kind of like it's going to do things, first of all, for you, but also that inner fight you have with your twin flame because of the things that are coming in together. I know I made this video without any warning. I just give you a message over at YouTube because I can't make a warning and have like 20 minutes to do it. So anyway, I did that just like that. So to begin about this inner fight in you, let me just fix a little bit the camera. I think that will be better. The inner fight in you begins when you awaken as a twin flame, but you got the warning sign about that inner fight in you. The inner sign before you get in ignite as a twin flame begins in your dreams, begins in your messages, even though begins when certain numbers begin to appear in front of you and you kind of like, what's going on, why it always appears like this, why those numbers are like this. Kind of like I give you on a warning if something comes up, and you learn that every time to that journey for the numbers, they're significant into this. Okay, so here is you get these dreams. You're probably gonna wake up and it's gonna tell you, certain messages like it's time for you for a new life, or it's time for you to be happy, or it's time for you to look into it. You probably waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You probably have so much energies in you, and you're like, what is going on? What is this process? What these changes is? And all of a sudden, there's changes in life. I mean, you move somewhere, you get in a new job, or you're getting something, and all of a sudden, boom, you meet someone who ignites your soul on fire. You begin the journey of the twin flame. And now you begin to have these energies inside of you that they constantly work, and you go through like, what is this? What's happening to me? And as soon as you go through this, what is this happening to me? Here you go. You begin your fight with you. You begin a fight with everything that you knew. You begin the fight with everything everyone told you. You begin to fight with who you are as a human, or human part. And now you enhancing your soul power, soul energy, and divine is behind this. And you're like, oh my God, you go and you're trying to do things, trying to understand, first of all, what's going on. And at the meantime, you have this energy between you and your twin, your person that you have energies exchange, what they call soulmates on a high level. If you don't want to go with twin flame, it's up to you. Whatever term you want to use. Um, so here is now you have that internal fight within yourself. Hi, Ray. Thank you for saying hi. Hi, everybody. I see lots of 5 people here. So that fight begins within, and you get in this energy of the things that's processes that's going to happen to you. And now you accept these processes, they happen to you, but they also happen to the other person. But there is a problem. The other person doesn't react too much on this. And you're like, what's going on? Here is that the problems they've been telling it to you, it is you to fix the problem within yourself, you to be prepared for the fight from within, not to fight with the other person. And the other person probably has same thing going on, but uh, they have different things they need to work on it. Those are the two different things. While you're learning this journey, you begin to have this changes that comes in you. Hi, Lisa. Thank you for being here. And this changes in you. You don't accept them. And all of a sudden, as soon as you begin to deny the energy, as soon as you begin to deny the divine in you, this energies, okay, they comes in and creates this blockages in you. And then from the block of that energy, you begin to feel tense, agitated, aggravated, and you can find yourself a spot where you can just kind of like doing it until you don't surrender to this energy. It's kind of like, okay, I'll do it. It's kind of like the energy and the divine is telling you like, take it easy, we're gonna go, we are gonna go ahead and do it, the things, and you surrender, you trust to let go. But that moment of you not letting go, it's coming from your human behavior, from your human knowns, from your mind as well, what we called. So the mind and the soul are two different things. So that fight of you getting this new information, it's also a fight with you accepting that new information and soul and reprogramming your mind. And the mind, if resists to be programmed, then that is a problems inside of you. And a lot of you is like, why am I agitated? Why am I aggravated? And what is it going on? Well, that's what's going on. Take a look deep inside of your own issues, not somebody else. First of all, look at yourself. But the most time when you begin to wake up as a twin flame, your focus is where? Your focus is on the other side, that you have to do something with the other side. Yeah, you do have to do something with the other side, but when you are ready, when you are ready, when you're not ready, then you comes in, it come together, then it's separation. Y'all probably, most of you that not in the union is because of these processes. Until you don't fix your own processes from within yourself, you ain't gonna be doing it. What is that has to do with the retrogrades? Pretty much everything, because the retrogrades, it's kind of like we going ahead, but we have to come back so you can be able to apply the changes. So the energy first comes forward, you getting this information in your soul, but when you don't accept it, you don't, because there is nothing goes on. It doesn't have this energy driven for you to do these changes. But here we go, the energy is shifting in the retrogrades, and now the retrogrades comes in and you're like, I have to look deep in me. And here is the retrograde energy begins to help you to accept the informations in you and rewrite it in your mind. That way you have no internal conflicts within the side of yourself. But during the retrogrades, if the mind still resists, there is huge issues with those fights. And this is the time when, specifically during Mercury retrograde, you do mistakes. Or if you are in this intense energy, there is no communication, no communications are not for the right things. Guess what? You kind of like trying not to, but you're blocking the energies if you want the things to be done. So here you go, the agitation, aggravation comes in, and you're like, you know what, that's it, I had enough. What I'm telling you right now is to trust more your soul in the journey and understand this inner fight processes from within. The resistance to change, the resistance to upgrade, the resistance to look to the new. And while you're accepting the new things and you evolve the new things, okay, when this process begins to be fulfilled of every area of your life as a human, that it's been rewritten or rewritten or changed or evolved, however you wanted to look into it, then you reach this part that now you are ready. But if you're not ready, you're going out with your twin flames, you're not ready, and guess what? This button's coming up, this situation's coming up, and now you are fighting your human behaviors in you that you haven't finished the business, using your soul connections, and you have situations with your twin flame because of your human behaviors. Okay, so it's very important to go back in time and fix your human behaviors that you didn't want it to change. You didn't improve that with the new energy that comes in you to begin your journey the way you was meant to be, the way you received the informations, the energy, the situations, and everything else. And now you are probably watching this information and you're like, duh, I should have looked at more early. Yeah, I should have looked at it more early too. We are going into this new stage of evolution. Right now, it's Jupiter. It's kind of like crossing already pretty much in areas. The train arrives into a train station and it's going to take off. It's going to take off, but then it's going to come back and then it's going to take off again. Okay, because of this part of I haven't finished this, then I have to finish that. And this is why I'm making this video, because if you have an unfinished inner fights inside of you, you will have problems of going forward. It's gonna be one of those things that excuse me. Ooh, that's better. Mercury retrograde affects everybody right now. It's too strong for some reason, and have to look. Maybe that has to do something with the sun and the North Node coming in together, because we're talking about destiny that it's evolving now. However, we came to this period of energies, and I see that this period of energies are kind of like I seen it in the people who are not twin flames. They're just a regular human beings, but that goes on. It's the same, pretty much, pattern of things. I can fix the things with my boyfriend, or I went out, I got mad at my boyfriend. They don't understand the things behind it. They don't understand this energy is not there. Um, or somebody dreams, and all of a sudden the dreams becomes reality. Okay, there is certain patterns that we follow, but you as a twin flame, you will have this power inside of you to kind of like defragment the pieces, defragment everything that it needs to be, separate in pieces, and then look it into the pieces, and then fragment again. If you're familiar with the process defragment within the hard drives and the computers, that is a like you have information on this sector and this sector and this sector and that sector, or whatever sector is, and all of a sudden the information is kind of like spreads out. So in order to have more space in your hard drive, so you have a repeated files. They're put it in the same hard drive, but they're the same files. So now the computer program goes see this repeating files and removes them and collects them, stores them in a in a specific locations in the hard drive so you can access them again. So now you make an extra space. It is the same thing with you. So during this downloads within yourself, during of this new process of information within yourself, you have more information that you need to work with, information that you already been stored, information that you already been looked, and the new information that comes in. So in order to replace the one with the other and do the changes from within, you begin to work with understanding. You understanding internally inside of your inner world is like, I will remove this because that doesn't do me any service anymore. I need to change this because that new information that comes in is more accurate and valuable than the information I have right now. Okay. And that understanding begins to help you with the changes. What could affect you not to make those changes? It is in your mind or a programming, or you got to be careful with the people around you, how they act and how they react on you. It's like, don't forget, there's some people out there who still that sense that they cannot have something. They say, "Oh no, that's not it. Listen to me. This is crap. This is bullshit." And you're like, "Okay, I'll stop." But as soon as you stop, all of a sudden there is humongous amount of problems that comes in. There was someone I watched last night a video, and she said like this, like somebody's been fighting about her kids, and she's like, the divine doesn't care about kids that you might, when you did not know that you're twin flame. And I kind of like, why is that? And she came in with the answer that was it, like divine wants you to be there and not because of anything else. I was like, come on, there's got to be more than this. Okay. And all of a sudden this morning I spoke with someone, and the someone told me today, well, the kids are going to universe, they're not our property, and since they're not our property, why we're thinking our property? This is the old paradigm. They belong to the universe. So I found the answers in here, but we'll still have traits inside of us as a human being. We have something that, as humanity, that it's inside of us. We have the caring, the nurturing, all these feelings, but we also have, abandonment, silence, and so on and so on, that we need to work on it. So this process of your internal fights, don't pass it over to your twin flame, because now you're going to have internal fights between each other, and during these fights you can harm each other ugly bad. Okay, then to the point that you don't want to have nothing to do with this anymore. Energies right now are about to change, about process of change, and a lot of the people have this melancholy of holding to the past. And right now, it is the moment to let it go of this old past and embrace the new changes, embracing the new things that comes up. You already have this energies in you. Most of you have that energy. You guys definitely know what I'm talking about, because you have two feelings. They're opposite to each other, but you know what's the right one. You definitely know what it's the right one. So if you guys have some any questions or anything like this, write them down. I can answer them. But what I'm suggesting it to you right now during this process of Mercury retrograde and Jupiter goes into Aries, uh, take a new approach of how you think about Mercury retrograde. Don't take it, it's like forceful changes, communication, phone burns out, computer burns out, car burns out, and all that stuff. Because today, when the car burns out, it is like, what am I supposed to do? On this town, I don't know pretty much nobody. I have a couple of friends, and here he is. I need to solve an issue that, I mean, I gotta find something. I gotta find some service to get there. So here is popped up at Google. I found out a service. I make the phone call, explain it to them what's going on. I ask them if they can fix the car. They say yes. I looked it up them on the internet. They say they're grabbing a great service. So I asked them, do they have some kind of tow truck so they could comes in? They give me a service of a tow truck. The tow truck comes in, pick up the car. We brought the car up to the service. I went in there and I dropped the car in there, and here you go. The car is going to be fixed. But I took a new approach. I didn't took the approach of being like, "Boo, all that crap, all this shit, all it's always happening to me. It's always no." Just like, okay, let's get. I have a new powers now. I have a new things. I will deal different approach. I will deal differently. And guess what happens? I went in there, I put the car, and the guy's like, "Hey, this, and this happens. I will check this and this, and we'll prepare the car to goes in, and she can pass the safety check. The car is due for a safety check, so I can be able to drive it around." So here is that. Your approach, your new way of changing is going to come up, but you're also going to see the fruits of the things that comes up. Okay, as soon as you see the fruits that comes in from the new energy, you will see that the fruits that comes out from that changes that you made, and you replaced your um, mind, your ego behaviors with soul-based knowledge and behavior, then you will see those fruits. And that's what the changes are about. That's what the new will be. Okay? That is going to be that new cycle right now with Jupiter, the new growth. Okay? But you have to start it at some point. You have to start it with some place. And that place, maybe it's not the place that you are. Maybe the place is somewhere else. Maybe the person is somewhere else, or maybe you have to begin with some inner place inside of you of new point of view about yourself. Yourself are this divine energy human being that provides the energy of into the world, into the 3D. So these inner fights, okay, they could be a very challenged because of culture, religion, or wherever it is you had into the point of awakening. Okay, because the divine wants to change you. The divine wants you to be happy. The divine wants you to really experiencing the things that you want to experience for it. The only difference you really have to face inside of yourself is the fear. A fear, and that will lead to refusing to change. And when you have this fear of change, then you will feel that you're missing the fruits of life. That's kind of like will lead to this sadness, to these things. But there is also an energy that once you replace the new with the old, you will have kind of like I'm missing this, I'm missing that, I'm missing this situation. So, for example, if you get off of the matrix and now you know what's real and what's not, and but you used to know what's real, right? And it's popping out that picture from the movie when Neo says, "I used to eat steak there," but it's that voice. It's like it was false. It was something else for him. You are experiencing this inside of you. And hi, CJ. Thank you for saying hi. And that could be some part of you that you will missing this melancholy. But once you get used to it, to the new, thinking about like you had a great car, it was no problems, you just go and do it. And now you have this different car that comes in and you don't know what's going on. Okay, the old car, you knew everything, you know the problems, you got used to it, you got attached to it, and all of a sudden you have this new car that you don't know, you're kind of like afraid even to touch, because this car doesn't have a steering wheel, it doesn't have anything. All you do is sit down and you punch the coordinates that you want to go, or you're just making a voice command, and now the car is just driving itself, and you are like, oh, with the time you're going to get used to it. With the time you are going to, hi Donna, thank you for being here. And with the time you're going to get used to it, to the new things. It was the same thing that you weren't used to it, to have everything on your cell phone. But now you have everything on your cell phone. It's probably you're reading a books on your cell phone, you're making pictures, you banking. I would suggest you to banking through your cell phone, because you lost your phone and you somebody can crack it and get in your banks. So I don't do banking on my phone. But you got all your social medias and communications and everything, even your music. So if you look at it 20 years back, there was no such a thing, that much. There was different devices that was doing pretty much all those things. If you look at it 30 years ago, okay, or even let's say 35, there was this giant satellite phones that you had to carry like a suitcase, and it has a uh, headset like this, and you go ahead and dial it, and it was dialing. Okay, so we're getting used to it, to the new. But now, since you are a twin flame, you have to apply these new things in yourself, and don't fight the progression. Don't fight this evolution. Okay, the fight, all that is, it creates problems between within yourself, but also if you picture the fight that you're going through, your inner fights, imagine when you have an inner fight within two portion of the same energy, within two different people. First of all, the mess that you are, can you imagine two messes coming together? Okay, so people asking what was the main reasons for the separations. This is one of the main reasons. Not understanding the processes inside of you, because while you go into this process of transformations, you go in and working with your twin. You're trying to be with them and hug them and kiss them and all that stuff without even realizing they have to do their thing. You have to do. And then when the truth is there and the 100% is there, we'll talk about this 100% now in a little bit, and I will take some couple of questions when you guys write them. So when you reach the 100% of basic changes, because there is always going to be new things that you have to add, but when you change your behaviors on the base of soul level for pretty much the most course on your inner self and your psyche, and you change your behaviors from human animal part based to a spiritual divine base, okay, you reach that 100%, then you're on 100% ready. But if you haven't done it, you won't. You won't. The You will be tested by the divine about those 100%. Once you reach 100% of some of the core beliefs, core values, core situations, okay, you will be tested. Sooner or later, you will be tested. And whilst you test it, you're tested to see, did you really complete that 100%? You to know. So it's the divine to know. Okay. While you can, your core beliefs, that it could be a belief about society, beliefs about family, beliefs about uh, spirituality, beliefs about husband and wife, intimacy, love, and survival within the 3D, how from the nothing to create something. That has to do with 100% with the power of creation. So all this kind of like basic things. Fastero, thank you. Hi Maria Richards, thank you guys for being here. So when you're replacing those core beliefs, those core changes inside of you, everything else that is below those core beliefs is going to change in you. And when you do those changes, everything begins kind of like first of all, destroying the old, but also you're going to feel the beginning of the new, how more powerful and more proper and all right you are. Okay, from within yourself. And 10, when you see that your partner does that, they do the inner work, then you will do the things that you need to do. All right. So the fruits, they're going to be presented to you like surprises. They're going to be presented to you like all of a sudden a new energy comes in, a new power that comes in. They can be present like some sort of a miracle, like all of a sudden you go into a place and somebody pops out and tells you something about someone, and that's something that you never knew. You go to a place where you never been before and you're wondering why you are there. Okay, so all of a sudden you're in this restaurant that the house is belonged to one of the most famous uh, uh, people in Bulgaria, who was a prime minister of Bulgaria. You never know, but it's attracting you there, right? It's attracting you. So that's what the thing I have right now for you. If you guys have some any questions, I can take a couple of them. So Maria Rodriguez, being okay with not being the one holding the steering. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a funny, but we had that message long time ago. It's like uh, leave the wheel of life to Jesus. You know, you surrender into this, and yeah, we got the message, but how many will do the message? Whoops. Yeah, actions. Actions will prove actually did you do these changes. That's what your test will be. Your test will be on the actions. You may have the knowledge, you may think you're gonna be ready once you have the knowledge, but if you don't do the internal process of overriding the old with the new and really get the hell out of the old one, that is your problem, then guess what? You're gonna repeat the cycle, and some of you probably is gonna be feel sad finding out that they haven't finished the work. They have to repeat the cycle again, or they've been repeating the cycle themselves. You guys knows about it. Let go and let God. Yes, there you go. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it. So since my twin reconnect with me again after 7 years, no contact, I have started writing poetry. Never wrote poetry before. This helps me. Ray, yeah, I began to write the beginning. I never knew I had this in me. Never knew I have this talent, pretty much. I never knew about talent that I can even draw a shoes with proportions there, like the right proportions right away. I mean, I discover a lot of hidden talents, but later on I find out that all the talents that you need in life of a present situations that's gonna comes in to help you. That is a with the core inside of you about creation. Okay, this is like let me talk about a little bit about this creation. Okay, um, the soul has all the programs how to survive uh, with the power of creation. So, for example, if you find yourself an abandoned island, okay, all of a sudden inside of you, there's going to be a program that kicks in and tells you what to do. You have to find water, you have to go ahead and somehow you have to create some kind of a house or something inside of you, and this becomes internally. But for example, if you're not in this kind of like emergency situation, but you are in a situation with let's say for example you go to somewhere someplace and you haven't done anything like this before, all of a sudden you're only thinking about this, you know it's important for you to know this, and all of a sudden that's everything is inside of you. This is a similar like uh, Trinity did not know how to fly a chopper, right? So she just calls in. It's like, I need a program how to fly a chopper, and here we go. They download it in her, okay, through the interface. And now you are knowing this. Um, they begin to experiment to have electronic interface with our brains, which is really is going to screw the things up. Okay, that way they can program things and get a program out of our brain to electronics and electronics back into the brain. So it's kind of like if somebody wants to live forever, they can get their minds out of the brain and store it in an electronic device, and they'll get another human being. They can take the mind out and they can put that mind that needs to live in a different body. Some kind of like a very strange features coming up. But that's more about things that we're not there yet. But that's where we're heading out. So we'll see new things. You have to accept them. All right. So let's see what else. I'm always amazed about people not having cocktail for years. Do you forget about twin after 7 years? Do you still thinking about them all the time? Ray, I think that was this question. It's for you about the 7 years. You don't think about, sometimes you don't thinking about people or things that happen. So all of a sudden, if they are supposed to comes in and just fire you up and they come back after 7 years, what do they say first? Do they apologize? Do they figure out that things? What do they? What that is? I had someone who reconnect with their twin years back, and all that was in there that she got back, it was just silence, coldness, and nothing else. It was like not even a reply back. What is it I was supposed to tell that person? That was a runner who wrote a lot of letters, and she came to me. It's like, Dio, I never got anything back. And you have to accept the truth. And this is one of the video. It is about that when you're running away, when you're a runner, or you're a chaser that turns to a runner, whatever it is, you're running from the truth. And if it's no truth, then something else goes in a place. Um, it may take you like so many years you to reflect on it, but the years will lead you to one thing, to figure it out that if someone creates actions towards you and they have this changed behavior, you probably get that quote about don't tell me that you change. The best change behavior is your actions, or something like that was. And that's what that is. The divine also wants to see the actions. They don't gonna go through the words. You may speak something, you may feel something, you may work energy something. Uh, the most part is that test that the universe is going to put you through. You fail the test, they tell you what your failure is, and now you know what the failure is. You know what the changes you need to make, what the improvements you need to make in you. All right, let's look at the messages here. After such a long time, I'll be amazed if I can even care anymore. But maybe the power of divine will have you always accept them if they decide to do so or meant to be. The power of the divine. For example, the divine will remove someone from your life because they hear things and they know things you don't. That is the one thing that I spoke about before. It's this naked talk. You have naked talk with someone, but you skip to tell things or you do things behind the veil. The divine knows, and when the divine separates you with someone, they know why they separate you. You probably don't, but they do. They always do. You will find your answer someday, somehow, some way. Somebody's gonna come. It's gonna tell you something. Okay, but um, uh, would you keep a space for them and you if the divine removes them? The answer is no. If they have to come back, the divine, it's going to give you messages. The divine is going to give you warnings. The divine is going to give you these dreams that they coming back. And then you will know, you will kind of like having a pre-talk info inside of you of what the things you're going to be speaking about. And all of a sudden, that person just appears in front of you in the physical. And guess what? The conversation goes the way the dream was. And you're like, whoops. Yeah. The divine has its own way to orchestrate energies and events between us. With an energy that is within their power, that was it within their responsibilities. For since the divine orchestrate the meetings, that is in their power, and they know things that we don't. Okay, because our human based behavior, it is to hide things, but you can't hide nothing from divine. Okay, that is the one thing you need to know, that you can't hide nothing from God, from the divine. Sooner or later, you figure this out. The sooner you figure that out, the better it is. The truth begins to work in you, and you get it the goods for. But if not, then there's a lot of problems. Okay, let's see what else. The soul evolution and transformation is so profound that it's impossible to forget about the one who initiated. Yes, light worker, it is. As long as those who initiated you is not what we call catalyst or spark. Let me explain the difference between the twin flame and the spark or the catalyst. The catalyst comes in just to ignite you, and they don't want to have nothing with you. They don't have intense energy too much with you. They don't have certain things with you. They don't have a power of transform. Why? Well, the power of the spark is to ignite the fire. But if the spark walks into the fire, it's going to disappear. While two people who get their soul on fire, that's a whole another ball game. That's when the divine is there, and the divine puts the two fires in the soul coming together. You can feel that love, okay? As long as the one thinks he has a fire, the other it's not. And if he have your human behavior still under control, and he trying to control your soul connection within you, within your own self, then this human behavior is going to take over and shut off the fire in you. And then it's going to be only one person loves the way it is. That's what if the one person did their inner work, or their human-based behavior patterns took over the soul-based patterns, then guess what? Things going to get separated. Things going to be done. So, but the catalyst just comes in to wake you up. They're not willing to cross the bridge of divine connection with you. Okay. Now, your twin flame, your soulmate with the higher level, or whatever you want to call it, they can come in together with the divine, and they can do the things, but still, are they up to the task? Maybe they are up to the task, but they have to be tested. They are for the task. So that's why most of the unions don't happen, because of this kind of reasons of evolution, of internal fights. And then if the internal fights in you, it's kind of like internal fights within process of evolution of the other person. And then it's like you have this, let's say, like a couple who argues, but now they argues with energies, forces, and so on. And the divine is like, we know what happens in this energies. We are going to be separate you, and that's what happens. All right, let's see. I think I was evolved by Catalyst, but I still think about her deeply. It's been 5 months. How can I don't know if she's a catalyst. If someone is a catalyst, okay, you won't not going to come to the state of premature union or some sort of union with that person. You are not going to be able to. But if there is a physical union, there is a energy union, and there is a divine evolved within the union between two people, it's not a catalyst. Catalyst just comes in to fire you up. It comes into just understanding, and then it goes away, and they just don't want to have nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing. And you're like, what happened? You need to understand the stages of the twin flames. Okay, if you get down within the stages and you have energy exchanges, you have the divine comes in. You both know the divine made that meeting. It doesn't matter if whatever you want to call the connection, twin flame or soulmates with higher purpose, whatever it is, or higher powers, or whatever. You go on that road, okay? That is the difference. Hi, Josh. Hi. Thank you for being here. Seems like we have the average crew here. Guys, I'm so happy that we were able to do this. So I'm going to light up on a cigarette, and you guys give me some kind of like a couple of questions so I can give you some more heads up. And I will think about something that I feel like I need to give you a message. Uh, uh, Better late than never, of course. Always a pleasure to join. Thanks, Josh. Uh, this inner fights has one thing in common. Josh, I'm just because you just enter here. Um, Talking about the inner fights of process of changes of resistance, replacing your old humor-based behavior with the soul-based information for how to behave as a soul, and the problems within. And now I'm talking about the control, because you're in the control of these changes. Um, but what control you are in? Okay, there is two form of controls. You have a control that comes from the soul, but now you have a control that comes from your ego, from your mind, that your human-based, analytical, logical brain, compared to the brain that you go in. It's energy, feelings, and universe knowledge, where the logic, it's only like okay. I was also talk about the current energies that you feel two things at the same time. It's kind of like it's time for you uniting two opposite forces from within, and that we talk about Nick Matula. It's like more unifications, more things that needs to be done for it. So if you have any questions, it's more to um, that's something I found last night. A lot of physical anxiety manifested because of unconscious desire for control. Was very much in between two worlds. Yes, we are between two worlds. The world that comes in, the new world, the new soul-based energies, the new soul-based vibrations. It's there, and we have this old matrix, physical thing, physical behavior, and you are like, how do you unite those two? Oh, I have to get to work. And that's what the realization, it's part of it too. So, oh, I'm a semi-regular too. Casey Snipe, this is an alternate name. Oh, all right, Casey. Oh, nice to be here. I think that this daily conversations with God, with you guys, it's kind of like helps a lot. Um, and we're doing this, but the control, take a look at the controls inside of you. What you're trying to control. What? You try to control outcomes, you try to control situations, you try to control behaviors, you try to control manifestations, or you're trying to control your destiny. Whoops. Destiny, big word, right? You can't control your destiny. Your destiny is written in the stars. That's why anytime you have problems, you look into the stars. Why? You're resisting changes. That's why. And how to let go of the control, pursue destiny and the desires of your heart or life. Yes, Josh. Exactly. The control in you is going to be lead you to the outcome of your actions. So your actions determine your words. your actions of changes will determine it. And when you finally understand that your destiny will take the control over you, and you will be like, okay, I'm changing. I will stop resisting these changes. Let's change these things in me. And all of a sudden, you're going to become this flexible personality. You're going to be understanding the energy. You're going to work with the energies. You're going to become this kind of like a bended person that can kind of like feels like can fit any place, anywhere, can go anywhere in any situation. And you are like, I never was like this before. I never understood this before, and now here it's me. That's what I do. I escape from certain situations. I kind of like surviving through certain situations, and you wonder why. Well, because you proving these core beliefs in yourself through actions, that you change your actions, your behaviors by replacing what you knew with what you actually are destined for. You're destined to be something great than this walking bag of bones. Okay. All right. Another thing I found is I know I have a twin who have not met yet, Josh, and I feel a subtle resistance spending time with this beautiful soul, kind of like a cheating guilt, but it's not a cheating guilt. You may be cheating on your own self, Josh, from within. You know the things, and then you're like, oops. Yeah, people can cheat on themselves. It's called illusions. And if you have a twin flame and you feel like you're cheating on your twin flame, first of all, focus on the universe to send you a twin flame or your soulmate at a higher level. The divine knows all the time who has to be with you if someone or someone is not present, because you have to fulfill your destiny. Yep, you have to fulfill your destiny. If you can't fix it with one person, then it sends you the same kind of person with even harder lesson. And you feel like, oh my God, why do I have to deal with the same thing, with the same information? Yeah, you didn't evolve, you didn't change. Now you change, now you understand that the things you didn't understand from before, now you do. So you have a different actions, different options. You do the right things. Now, when the new cycle begins, you turn back head an old cycle, and you're like, I don't have nothing to blame myself except certain things that I did not change. But you look at yourself, you overcome your biggest issues. If you overcome your biggest issues, if you did something way out of ordinary in a similar situations, guess what? You did the right thing. You just did the right thing. Mostly if you overcome your anger or your desire to go ahead and do things that you used to do for it. Like righteousness, you want to have this truth, and you want to have all this, uh, the right things to happen. No, you evolve out of that. And when you evolve out of that situation, you heal something from within. Then you inheriting new powers. The new powers that comes up, they're more powerful. But if you've been damaged from the past, you gotta fix your damage too, as well. So it's gonna be kind of like working on the progress and the healing at the same time. That's what I do. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And right, Donna? And it's the battle wins. Yes, It's the battle wounds. But why he had that battle? The battle came in because of this inner fight between your human behavior and your soul understanding. And that's what this video was basically about. That's what these wounds are, because of the fight. Your inner fight in you, but also the inner fight with somebody else. And that leads to the disasters for you. So as long as you still connected to the divine, you're still doing the things with the divine, then the things just go back the way it is. That's how it goes. Divine is in control of this, not us. No. We are the seeds that needs to evolve. As soon as you understand you are a star seed that basically put up on here in planet Earth to grow and evolve. Okay, grow and evolve, and that has nothing to do with pretty much what you are and who you are. You understand that someone put you as a seed here. They have a trust, faith, and love for you to grow here. Then you will understand that some things in life, they're beyond your control. You're going to leave the control, but you're going to follow the process of evolutions. The gift of acceptance, yes. Yes, the power of acceptance. Acceptance is one of those cores that you need to change. There's going to be a whole new level of ethics they're going to be developed. There's going to be a whole new level of psychologists that's going to be developed. There's going to be a whole new level of spirituality comes up. This whole thing is going to be rewritten. This whole society is going to change. Question is how many of the people are going to accept the new changes? And that's Maria. You're so right. The gift of acceptance. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I will go ahead and put some messages out there. Tonight I'm going to make a video about what we need to look astrology-wise with the energies that comes in during the Mercury retrograde. But I will feel like within a few hours, because there is some certain things that tells me don't tell the people because they're not going to have the information. But at the same time, there is information that says you have to do a deal. And like, okay, Mercury retrograde problems. So I have to dig up what to do. You know, with this confusion duality stuff that goes on, it's because Mars is in Pisces, and I'm not too much into the Pisces thing. Nope. It's like, I'm not a Piscean person. I'm a Libra with the Cancer, with the karma of Capricorn. It's like I'm emotions and air, and I have an earth karma to do with. I've been this wounded healer in Aries. It's fire. I'm like, okay, now I'll try to mix the things up. So that's what that is. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I will post a message that I will do probably a video, and we're gonna go from there. Thank you so much being here, guys. Be love.